All right, my friends, I'm going to share with you the reason why I encourage you to quit your crappy old job, but you got to be self-sufficient before you do. Corporate America is not for you. It's all there is to it. It's not. And I don't just mean big business corporate America. I mean any business for which you are an employee of. You don't have any say. You don't have any rights, and you literally sacrifice your rights when you walk in the door. And by good nature, it's not your business. They opened it, they took the risk. But if you're stuck in your freaking crappy old job because you're worried about money, or not just worried, because you have money issues, you will do what they tell you to do. And I just share with you when I was at USA, I'll never forget this. USA, believe it or not, is actually a relatively progressive company, even though it's military focused. A lot of people think, USA, they were okay with sexual orientation well before I think most firms were, in terms of, I can't remember offering benefits one up, but I remember they were okay with that, you know what I'm saying? But out of the nowhere, they literally just out of the nowhere, they changed their diversity stuff to recognize gender identity. And it was too much. It was too much, too fast. And people are like, what the hell? Like, they didn't get it approved for the, I presume they didn't get it approved for the board. I don't know if they need it. Look, I don't know how it works. I just know just out of nowhere, we got a new CEO, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, the inclusion, our diversity, our commitment to diversity and inclusion included gender identity. And I'll never forget, there's this big kind of debate on the intraweb that we had, the intranet, and people were being reported for saying, this isn't kosher, this is bad. I'll never forget that though. People were being reported, and then they started deleting anybody's comments that were anti that. It was weird, and I'll never forget that. I said, I didn't comment, right? Because look, man, I know my role. I'm just a cog in the machine or whatever it is. They don't care what I say. But I remember some people were really upset by that, and they're saying, this is crazy. You didn't say, I guarantee you're not telling the members, because the members own the firm, and the members are a lot of are military officers. Like my granddad is not one of the founders, but he's been a member of USA since like the 40s, in 4 generations, and it was one of those things that you're sitting there thinking, this is not good. Biology should trump politics. That's all there is to it. And there is biological men and women. And that's not debatable. It's just, come on, it's not. Now, whether or not you feel you have a need to transition, I don't care. But biologically speaking, there are 2 sexes, there's men, or 2 genders, a man and a woman. That's it. Yes, there is a few that are intersectional like that, but it's just tiny amount. Transitioning is a whole different thing. And when USA just came out, and kind of was just weird, just like all of a sudden out of nowhere, our statement of diversity and inclusion was that, and you're just like, this is corporate America, and corporate America, my friends, they don't like you. I'm telling you right now, they are run by liberals, wealthy liberals, who got their pedigree on Ivy Leagues, all right, who did marketing on Madison Ave. They might have learned investment management at Stanford or Boston or New York, but they're not from the University of Nebraska, or they are from the University of Nebraska, like an HR department or something like that. You can only know where that is. But at the end of the day, they're corporate America. They follow what Hollywood dictates. So let's just put it that way. And you know that because if you look at, like, I'll never forget USA doing their ads for the NFL. No way that was profitable, but they spent millions. And the reason was because the corporate execs loved the idea of rubbing shoulders with NFL executives and players. They loved it. RG3. But I'm a big fan of RG3, Robert Griffin III. They got to sit with him over dinner and stuff. They loved it, and it had literally it had nothing to do with the guy who was a corporate executive. It just had to do with the fact how much they wanted to spend to rub shoulders with RG3. The same thing with corporate America in terms of all the other liberal stuff in terms of going green and sexual identity or gender identity, all that. They're trying to be aligned with Hollywood, because that's what the famous people are. And a lot of executives, they have the money. The one thing they don't have is the fame, and they'd love to have that. So anyway, So what happens is if you don't have any wherewithal, you are going to be stuck in that grind, and probably of a group of people who don't align with you in terms of a lot of your belief system. Now, USA wasn't donating to far left causes, let's put it that way, but when you looked at their corporate donations, you'd be surprised at some of the organizations and political people they donated to. And that's USA. I mean, you'd think of anything that'd be more on the right, and they just were not. And you think about Vanguard and all these other firms, never mind Charles Schwab out of San Francisco. But you will do what they tell you to do. You will do what they tell you to do. And this is just, look, these are just financial institutions. I mean, if you're in a heavily regulated utility or something like that, my goodness, man, the government tells you to jump and you say how high. And if the government is and the bureaucrats within the government, if they don't like you, they're coming after you. There's no other way around that. And so they heed the command. It's almost fascistic. It's not quite there, but I mean, the fascism is basically big government. It tells big business and big labor what to do, and big labor and big business still have private property, still have labor unions, but they follow in suit. They follow along at the dictates of what big government says. So the big government says, we'll let you keep the profits, but you're going to listen to what we say. And big unions and big labor and big business follow suit. That's literally what fascism is. It isn't a government control of the production of the means. But if you have debt, you have no money, you're living high in the hog, you are selling your soul in order to stay in that environment. And I find that to be, I did for many years. And I might have to do it again. I don't know. I hope not. Who's going to hire me now? After, 1,300 videos of YouTube in a year, people say, I don't want to hire that guy. He's crazy. Whatever. I'll get a job changing tires at Walmart. I don't know. But what I'm just saying is this is what happens when you are not able to call your own shots, is that you're going to align yourself with a corporation or a company or even a nonprofit that tells you how to think while you're on duty, so to speak. You can say, well, nowadays you can't even say whatever you want off, because now they're going after you if you have this post on Facebook or post on, I don't know, what's the other one, Instagram or Twitter or whatever. And again, I don't do all that. But if you have a post that someone finds offensive and an affront to their identity, you'll get fired. And that's not good. That's bad. That's government dictating, corporations would dictate to you. And so how do you avoid that? Well, you got to get your crap together. You got to find out how much you spend, and I almost assure you have no idea. And when you find out how much you spend, then you got to find out a plan in which to meet that expenditures with some other source of labor, either be it being your own business, going on YouTube, doing some part-time gigs, something like that. Whatever it is you got to do to find out a way, maybe downsize, however it is, you got to find a way to meet your expenditures. And I think what you'll do once you do a budget too, you'll really quickly say, oh, did I really need to spend that much on coffee in the morning or lunch in the afternoon or dry cleaning or all this? I think you'll quickly find that you spend a lot more than you would have ever anticipated. And then you can start reducing the expenditures, and then you'll start saying, okay, the expenditures have been reduced, so now I can find a way in which to make up the income that I no longer have by working and selling my soul to the man. Now listen, if you're working for a corporation, I am not saying you're selling your soul. I'm not saying that. Please don't take this wrong. I'm not saying, oh, you work for a corporation, you sold out. No. I'm not saying that in the least. I know what it's like, man. I know what it's like to pay the bill, have to pay the bills. I know for a fact what it's like. I was able to work for a corporation in a good company. USA was good to me for a long time, where I made decent money, good money with them. And even better, I was able to save a lot of money, to the point where I said, I can try this, my own business, for a couple of years before I run out of money. And then I might need to go back to selling my soul to the corporation again. So I'm not here to chastise you for working for the man, working for the corporation. I know what it's like to get by, to have to survive. You got to survive. You got to take care of number one. If that means putting your politics aside and saying, I'm not saying anything to offend somebody, well, so be it. You got to do what you got to do. I got no problem with that. But hopefully, watching my video, other people, my man, what's his name, Beat the Bush, Graham, Jeff Rose over at wealthhacker.com. There's tons of different people out there. Hopefully watching these videos will give you not only the incentive, but maybe some wherewithal in terms of how you can get your own situation together, so you can then say, well, look, I'm gonna make a change. I'm gonna break I'm gonna break free, and hopefully I'll have 2 years set aside where I can spend it down. If in the worst case scenario, if it doesn't succeed, I can go back to the corporation, with my tail between my legs. But that's not the worst thing that ever happened, for sure. And that's why I'm actually writing the book, Why You Can Retire on Social Security, because I think they go hand in hand. They say, look, if you can retire on Social Security, even if you burn through all your money in the 401k, which potentially I could do, but between my wife and me, we'll get $50,000 a year of Social Security in today's numbers. Ideally have no debt at that point, or we'll be on Medicare, but we have no debt. The kids are out of the house, so we're not paying off any student loans or braces or anything like that. I don't know, and we'll move to a cheaper place. I mean, could we get by on that alone? I'm not sure, but we might have to get a part-time job or something. But you see how they go hand in hand. It's okay to quit your crappy old job and start burning through some of your money to see if it'll work, because at the end of the day, you still have your Social Security you can rely on, which is A, why Social Security is so important, and B, why it needs to be protected, and C, why you should not discount it, because the facts are, if you have access to Social Security, you have access potentially to a way to quit your crappy old job and free yourself from working for corporate America and having to hide behind what you believe is your truth, which is however you see the world. All right, well, I hope this helps, man. Think about it. I'd like to hear your comments on that, but if you have any questions or thoughts, I just want to tell you what I'm thinking in this regard in terms of how you can maybe break the chains from your corporate America, why I do these videos so that you can break the chains from corporate America to liberate yourself from the politics that could be driving you batty and essentially just not contributing to it. So no, I'm breaking free from this. I can do my own thing, and I'm telling you, it might not work, but the worst case scenario is you got to go back to another job and you say, I tried it, and that's not so bad. That's not so bad. All right, we'll see you.